Hey, Lily Wong here, and this is Fly with Lily podcast. Life can throw us unexpected curveballs of all kinds, from the loss of a loved one, career change, or family problems. For me, it was the loss of my mother and my marriage. The worst experiences of my life led to the most euphoric learning experience and life journey I ever could have imagined. My journey let me dive within myself, overcome my fears, drop disempowering beliefs, and remove mental limitations. From motivation, language learning, business, nomadic life stories, or world travel, to just plain dropping your baggage. Fly with Lily podcast offers the inspiration you need to open yourself to this world of opportunities without limits.
Even in the darkest rooms, a single ray of light can teach the heart to hope again. Today, I want to share a story from my childhood with you. This memory feels both vivid and blurry, like an old film playing in my mind, with flickering lights, faint sounds, and a bittersweet feeling in my heart. When I left northern Taiwan, I had just entered my second year of elementary school. My family moved to Kaohsiung, and from then on, life became a little unstable, like a snail without its shell, wandering everywhere looking for a place to rest. By that time, my parents were already living separately. My mom would visit 2 or 3 times a week, while I stayed with Dad, living in a tiny storage room at his friend's place. It was located behind a fire station, small and dark. There was a little glass window on the ceiling, and light would trickle in through it. My dad and I shared one bed. I remember often praying towards that little skylight. It was the same moment I mentioned in my episode, The Miracle of My Broken Bone. My dad drank every day back then. My daily task was to cross the street and buy him half a dozen bottles of rice wine or beer. At night, his friends would come over and drink, chat, and discuss work. Sometimes the policemen or firefighters next door would play mahjong right beside our room. Strangely, I didn't mind the noise. Only when my dad got drunk and his voice suddenly grew loud would I frown a little. But I stayed quiet, just being there. We didn't have our own toilet. If I needed to pee, I had to go to a corner of the water storage room outside. For number 2, I had to walk through the kitchen and the living room to get to the bathroom. There were so many rats and cockroaches there. Once a rat even crawled across my face while I was sleeping. I was terrified. After that, we set traps and sometimes could smell the dead rats afterwards. But whenever we found one, my dad would take me out to a restaurant to celebrate. Looking back, it was absurd and somehow adorable, our own little ritual together. Although that period of time was very dark, I always knew my parents' love for me never faded. Even though they were busy and emotionally distant, they still loved me in their own ways. I had a lot of freedom. I could run and play with the neighborhood kids or wander off to explore on my own. When my mom came, she always brought me delicious food. When I broke my arm, she visited me every day to massage it or remind me to take more calcium and vitamin B. Dad sometimes went away for a week on work trips, and without mom around, I had to take care of myself. Before leaving, he would hand me a thick wad of cash, then 10,000 new Taiwan dollars as pocket money. It is about maybe $330. To me, that felt like a fortune. I used it to buy little things I liked and treat my friends to ice cream and movies. That sense of having control over my tiny world made me feel so happy and free. But it was also during that time that something happened, something I've never spoken about. One of Dad's friends, around 40, wore glasses, that told me to call him uncle. One afternoon, while I was taking a nap, he walked into our room and he kissed and touched me. I was only 10 years old. I had no idea what was happening. I pretended to stay asleep until he left. After that day, I never saw him again. I never told my dad because I knew his temper. He would have been furious, and I was scared of what might happen next. Not long after, my grandmother passed away. Dad was devastated. He hadn't been close to my grandfather and hadn't come home for years. When Grandpa started showing signs of dementia, Dad decided to move back and take care of him. So we moved into a row of small makeshift houses behind Grandpa's apartment, built from wood and cement, narrow and simple. But finally, we had our own toilet. To us at that time, it felt like a luxury upgrade. Dad began managing the rental units and let Mom live in the one at the very back. We stayed in the front room. Life was still hard, but at least I finally had a bit of space to myself. Later, Grandpa passed away and we moved into his apartment. I was 14 then, and for the first time, I had my own room. It was a small room, but to me, it felt like the whole world had suddenly opened up. It was the first time I ever truly felt what safety meant.
This has been another episode of the Fly with Lily podcast. So what now? Go to flywithlily.com to download my gift for you to help work on your abundant lifestyle, or contact me directly for a consultation. This show takes a lot of work and planning, so if you enjoyed it, please consider a 5-star review on iTunes, following on Facebook and Instagram at Fly with Lily, or come up and give our crew a hug on the street when you are on your journey. Thanks for listening, and remember, life's curveballs can be your best opportunities.